Okay, what's going on, everybody? Pretty sure this is gonna go back to on my live screen or one of my regular things. So I'm just trying this out for a quick second. This is lunchtime prep basically. So chopping up some potatoes, gonna make some French fries. I thought I'd just live stream it just because it'd be cool to do, right? So typically, whenever I'm cooking something, I gotta make sure everything's clean first and foremost, because you don't want to make any dirty dishes or cook food that's not clean, right? But when it comes to potatoes, sometimes I'll leave the skin on, sometimes I'll take it off, just depending on how I feel. But today we're just gonna leave it on since I'm already cutting it, and it don't have any sprouts or anything, so that's a good thing. But lunchtime is pretty typical for us to have what we had last night for dinner. So we had burgers last night, so I'm gonna chop up this potato, make some French fries in the air fryer. Just try to make it as minimal calories as possible because, we don't need that many calories. Well, my wife doesn't anyway, but we don't need too many calories. So we try to keep everything real whole foods, which typically doesn't have a lot of calories, right? So the highest calorie thing that we'll have is probably like some walnuts or something like that. Everything else is probably around 100 calories or less. Protein chicken is about 160 calories, but everything else, fruits and vegetables, they're little to no calories. That's the beautiful thing about real whole foods. When you're eating something that's came from the earth, came from God, whether you believe in God or not, it typically doesn't have a lot of calories, which is beautiful because you can eat as much as you like, or at least eat as much as you want to try to eat, and it actually doesn't give you a lot of calories. So that's why I put a premium and even in my nutritional practices with my clients, I put a premium on real whole foods because that's probably the most important thing, in my opinion, outside of portions. But have you ever tried to eat a pound of broccoli? It's not going to bode well for you. But I'm just going to chop these up. Seasonings I like to use, salt, pepper, those kind of things. Ginger if I have some, but I don't have any right now, but I'm not going to use that today. Some garlic powder and onion powder, those kind of things, and pretty much it for fries. But like I said, we're going to do some burgers and fries today for lunch, and lunch will probably be in about 30 minutes, so I really got to hurry up with this, but because it takes about 20 minutes to cook in the air fryer and all that good stuff. So I gotta make sure that I have this ready for my wife so that she doesn't shoot me out for not having the food ready. But about that, just kind of give you guys some insight on how we do things. Like again, just focusing on real whole foods. We go to the grocery store weekly because the vegetables and fruits that we eat them. So they are gone by the end of the week, or probably actually logistically I'm looking at going to the grocery store like twice a week just to load up on more fruit and vegetables because we eat a lot of spinach, a lot of broccoli, a lot of potatoes, sweet potatoes, those kind of things. Fruits, we go through blueberries and strawberries pretty quickly, so we're always going to the grocery store to get those kind of things. I'll be right back. And yeah, so that is the beauty of eating real whole foods, is you're always going to the grocery store. But I digress. The grocery store is actually a fun place for me. I enjoy it. I actually love going to the grocery store, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to take this, rinse these out, because we'll make sure that everything's nice and clean. Again, clean sanitation is very, very important, and make sure your food is rinsed off and washed off, especially with potatoes. Okay, so a lot of the starch kind of comes out when you wash the potatoes. So I'll wash them and let them sit for like maybe 5 minutes, give or take, while the air fryer is warming up. So that by the time the air fryer is ready, I'll just throw some seasoning on here. And we already talked about the seasoning, but throw some seasoning on here and just throw them in the air fryer and let them go. Like, I love the air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer right now, you are missing out on a lot of good things. Air fryers are amazing, and I don't know what I would do without them. A lot of the meals that we cook these days are actually cooked in the air fryer because it's just something that you can just throw in there, check it maybe once, and by the time you sit down again, it's ready, fully cooked, ready to go. So yeah, I'm gonna let these potatoes soak a little bit. So when it comes to things that I talk to my clients about on a regular basis, again, one thing is eating real whole foods. Second thing, which I'm actually going to do a webinar on this pretty soon, is how to build a plate. A plate is a very underrated skill, honestly, and something that we don't really hear talked about a lot. But for the most part, every plate should consist of, granted, if you're carnivore or keto, there's a lot of arguments between those two camps, but or carnivore or vegan, there's a lot of argument between those two camps. But you should have half your plate full of vegetables. You should have a quarter of your plate with protein. Then mix in whatever carbs and fats that you want with the rest of the quarter of the plate. And that's typical. That is a standard meal, a standard plate that I set for all my clients for the most part, because that's going to ensure that they get all the nutrients that they need. It's going to ensure that they get a good bit of protein. It's going to ensure that they get some fats in there and some energy from the carbohydrates or starchy things like potatoes or rice or whatever you have. But that's a very underrated skill, and a lot of people don't really talk about it, at least not that I see in the nutritional space on the YouTubes. But for the most part, if you are building a plate like that, you are actually going to set yourself up to eat fewer calories or not overeat, shall I say, because there's no way, if you just build a simple plate like that, that you're going to overeat. Now, granted, it still takes time for your body to get used to that type of style of eating, which is why this nutritional and weight loss thing is not really something that you can rush, because you have to teach your body what you're trying to get it to do, right? It's just like a new skill. It's just like, as a CrossFit coach, I don't expect anybody to just walk into the CrossFit gym and do a muscle up. You got to work on the skills. You got to build those habits in order to learn how to effectively pull your body up above the rings and pressing it out. Same with weight loss. It is a skill to teach yourself how to eat and train your body to understand, like, hey, you are not starving yourself. You're actually giving it what you need. It's just less than what you're used to. That takes time. But we don't want to live. We live in a world where everything has to be rushed. So it is what it is when it comes to that. But for the most part, teaching people how to build a plate is my most effective tool as a nutrition coach, because a lot of people don't understand what a plate is supposed to look like. Like when you look at go to any restaurant, right? I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to get sued or anything, but go to any restaurant. Most of the plates are loaded full of rice, pasta, which those things are not bad, but it forces you to overconsume on things, on extra energy that you're not going to use, right? So we want to make sure that we're using our food as fuel and not having it stored in our bodies. Oh, gotta cut on the air fryer. Be right back. But when we eat that amount of carbs and we overconsume on carbohydrates and not necessarily vegetables and protein, we tend to store that extra energy, especially if you're just sitting down at home all day and not doing anything. That is how you gain weight. It's just that simple. That is literally how you gain weight. Now, there are some other factors that go into it, but for simplistic sake, that's simply how you gain weight. You eat more than the energy that you're using, okay? And that's not to say it's not going to happen. It's going to happen just like that. You know, it takes time, which, again, most people who have weight issues, it wasn't something that just magically popped up. These things have been going on for years and years and years, and it slowly started to add up to the point where it's like, oh, okay, maybe 1 year you gained 1 pound. The next year, okay, another 2 pounds. And then 5 years from now, you're up 10, 20, 15 pounds. It's a slow, steady increment of your daily habits that you're doing in order to get you to that point. So if it takes you time to get there, why would it not take you time to get back to where you wanted to be, right? So being realistic with your goals is going to help when it comes to weight loss. Understanding that it takes time is going to help when it comes to weight loss. And understanding the skills that are necessary for a person who's trying to lose weight, i.e. learning how to build a plate, working out and exercise, building your sleep tolerance and skill to actually go to sleep, minimizing stress. Those are all the things that it takes to actually help you lose weight. And it's not something that's just going to magically happen just like that. But I digress. Everybody wants it quick. Like, and that's why some of these diet things are popping up all over the place. And medicine has figured out a way in order to get their little hands into the weight loss process, which is fine. You know, I'm not knocking anybody who does that or anything like that. But what skills are you learning? What are the tools that you're putting into your toolbox in order to help you stay where you want to be? Because that's the hardest part. Losing weight, it can be difficult, but what's more difficult is staying there. So that's one of those things. I mean, it's just one of those things you got to weigh out. You got to take your time and understand what you're actually trying to do and get a plan in place in order to do that. And when the plan goes awry, just stay consistent. Not every day is a scale going to show you something different. Like even today, I'll give you an example. I'm on a I'm trying to build more muscle. And so everything I'm doing is increasing calories, increasing resistance as far as working out goes. And yesterday I stepped on the scale and I was down to 167.8, which is not good, but it is what it is. This morning, got up, stepped on the scale, it's 172. I did nothing completely different. I didn't even work out last night, which I was supposed to, but me and my wife decided not to go work out last night. But it's just one of those things. Weight is such a interesting thing to base everything on. You know what I mean? So definitely make sure that you're building the skills necessary to get you to where you want to be, and stay where you want to be, and not looking for the instant results of, hey, let me just take this. Now, granted, there is a population that needs that stuff, but you still need to learn the skills too. Even though you may feel like you need to take some type of medication to help you get there, and again, I'm not knocking you. If that's what you feel like you need to do, then do that. But also understand that you need to learn the skills to keep you there too. Because once that is gone, what is left? You. Once those medications have worn off, what is left? You. And your ability to stay where you want to be. So, if you need help, reach out to somebody, get the help you need in order to build those skills. If you don't know anything about exercise, reach out to somebody and get those skills in order to help you learn how to exercise. If you need to learn how to build a plate, that's going to help you stay where you want to be and get to where you want to be. Reach out to somebody for that help. There's thousands of people out there that are willing to give you their time and effort and energy. But it's on you to actually reach out. Oh, I'm over here talking. I gotta season these potatoes. What am I doing? But yeah, so I mean, it's all about managing your expectations for what you're trying to do, which is part of the article I just wrote for the Rome Tribune up here in Rome, Georgia, as well as my Substack subscribers. It talks about managing your expectations. because so many people feel like, ah, man, I should be able to lose this weight real quick, right? Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, you probably can, but are you going to keep it there? That's the thing. That's the trick. That's the question. Can you manage your expectations in order to stop you from feeling overwhelmed? Can you manage your expectations to stop you from going crazy about this whole weight loss thing? And can you manage your expectations to help you feel better about where you're trying to go and what you're trying to do? That's the trick to this weight loss goal. And lastly, before I get off, I love to measure the seasoning that I put into my foods, because you just never know if you just sprinkle. So I always measure stuff. So I got a half a teaspoon of salt here. Only thing that I don't measure is pepper. I just kind of spray that on there, but I don't use a lot of that. Pepper. Alright. I got a garlic powder. Almost all of this, so we're gonna go stir pretty soon. Again, I always have to stir. Do a half a teaspoon, or teaspoon of this. Let's say onion powder too. And onion powder. It's the last thing I'm gonna use. Yeah, just sprinkle some of that on there. Good to go. Now just shake it up. Not sponsored. Stuff is dope. Love it. Now the cool thing about the air fryer is it allows you to kind of preset some of your things. So you actually already have this preset in here. And I like to kind of play around with the timing of it, because when I first started cooking these things on here, I would just put it in and just let it go, right? Things come out burnt. But I've learned from mistakes, so I actually know what it needs to be at, and just let it cook. And I'll flip my screen. So it starts off at 24 minutes, and I'm not sponsored by this company either, but this is an awesome air fryer. Starts off 24 minutes. I'll take it out halfway, shake it up, and then see where it is. And typically I just reduce the time to about 3, 4, 5 minutes or whatever, just based on how it looks, because it just never, I don't want it to burn up. That's the number one thing. Don't want it to burn. But I love that air fryer. I love cooking with it. Hope you guys learned something from this. I don't know, but manage your expectations on weight loss, because that's really important that you understand it's going to take time. These are very valuable skills that you need to learn in order to help get you to where you want to be and stay where you want to be. Learn how to design a plate. If you don't know, there'll be a link in the description, whatever, to my website, hprnutrition.com, and you can sign up for a free consultation, basically, and I can walk you through it. Learn how to design a plate. Exercise is very important. Reducing calories helps you get to the number, but exercise helps your body look how you want it to look. That's the most important thing when it comes to it, because you can lose all the weight that you want to, right? But it's not going to look the way you want it to look unless you're building muscle alongside that, or at least trying to build muscle or preserve the amount of muscle that you have. Learn how to build a plate, exercise, sleep. It's the most important thing. It really is the most important thing. Get you a good quality sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep if you can, and then managing your stress. And when you manage your expectations, it helps mitigate the stress that you feel from trying to lose the weight that you're trying to lose. So build a plate, exercise, sleep, manage your stress. All right. I'm not going to show you guys what it looks like, because I will be on here for another 15 minutes or whatever it is. But Hope you guys create yourselves a great day. And we'll see you later. Hopefully my voice doesn't sound too raspy because I'm still getting over some stuff. But anyways, love you guys. Y'all stay safe. Be blessed. Create yourselves a great day. We'll see you later.